Hey, Rinnie, the holiday season is approaching. I'm so happy. And did you know that every year during Thanksgiving, I give up all of my bad habits?
Really? How do you do that?
Because after Thanksgiving, I have a lot of cold turkey.
That is so corny. But I like the way you incorporated habits into the intro. Are you ready to finish up our conversation on habits today?
I am. I apologize, y'all, that was a bad mom joke. But anyway, Thanksgiving is my favorite time of the year. But yeah, let's get into it, Rinnie.
Good morning, everyone in podcast land. Welcome to the WEBB Remedy podcast, a mindset shifting project of Web Squared, which stands for Wealth Through Entrepreneurship for Black and Brown Businesses. In this podcast, we explore our entrepreneurial mindsets, the challenges that get in our way, and the solution to those challenges. I'm Rinnie Orr, podcast host and associate director and co-founder of Web Squared.
And good morning, everyone. I am Stephanie Terry, and I am the executive director of Web. So, Rennie, I believe today that this is our last conversation on our series about habits.
Yes, we've had several conversations, and I think we're going to give our last bit of habit hacks today.
Well, previously on the Web Remedy podcast, we talked about,
Yes, we dived into the cycle of socialization. I have a hard time saying that word for some reason, where we examined from whom and from where our behavioral and emotional habits arise, and how these habits are reinforced by triggers and cues, and how all of these forces are deeply wired in our minds, just like a computer program.
that's right, these invisible habits hold so much power. And often it takes so much will and determination to transform these unhealthy habits into good, healthy habits. And I know I'm not the only one out here that has been struggling with a habit that has been so hard to change.
Well, and I think that's why we have offered up some habit hacks, some strategies to help aid in these transformations around our habits. Stephanie, let's do a quick overview. Do you remember habit hack number one? We claim a new identity. If you want to be an author, you ask yourself, what are the habits of an author? And you embody those habits.
Yes, I remember that because that was me wanting to be an author. And I still got work to do. But anyway, habit hack number two, assess and make small or large adjustments in your environment. Remember that your surrounding shapes your behaviors significantly. So do what you need to do to change your environment. If you need to exercise more, add yoga mats near your TV area, or maybe turn on yoga videos in the morning before news programs so that you can get that exercise in.
And we don't really need to be watching the news these days either.
Seriously.
All right. On to habit hack number three. Always remember to start small. You set and build your goals strategically. For big goals, like maybe running a half marathon, we start with small, manageable actions. We begin with walking a few miles every day to building up to like shorter runs, and then eventually we can run 13 miles.
Absolutely. It's super important when you're thinking about your habits to remember that even making 1 degree of change deliberately and then taking actions on those things, no matter how small they may seem, can lead to huge results and different destinations and different outcomes. For example, Rinnie, I love this example. If we were in an airplane and we were flying from Los Angeles to New York, and the navigation system on that airplane is off by 1 degree, literally as we are flying, our route would change from destination New York to maybe destination North Carolina. Listen, I know I was never good in math, but there is a calculation for this. I'm sure about it. But seriously, just 1 degree of change can lead you to a vastly different destination or outcome.
So, Stephanie, how does this relate to our daily lives and the habits we're trying to change?
Well, Rinnie, just like that airplane, altering our habits require consistent effort over time. For instance, my example, I would like to reduce weight, right? So maybe I'm not, going to start hitting the exercise and changing my diet completely, but just opting for water instead of soda and maybe just doing a couple of stretches, exercise sessions into my weekly routine, it really will gradually yield significant changes over time. But the key to that is to be consistent with the change.
Another image that comes to my mind is that of an ice cube. As the temperature rises from 25 to 31 degrees, that ice cube will remain solid. But at 32 degrees, it transforms into a liquid. And this moment is called the melting point, and that represents what we call a change plateau, right? Plateau, is that pronouncing it right?
That's right.
Where noticeable alterations finally occur.
Yes. So sometimes our view of that change plateau may be blocked, meaning you might not see the results of this new habit that you're doing right away. But it's very crucial not to get discouraged by the lack of immediate results. Because remember, this habit that you're trying to change, it took time to become a habit. And so habits also take time to be undone. So whether it's been a week, a month, or even longer, it's easy to get frustrated if we don't immediately see changes. But don't give up, because I promise you, small, consistent changes like drinking one less soda a day will eventually lead you to a different outcome or a different destination.
Absolutely. And to aid in seeing beyond that blocked view, WEBB Squared is going to offer another habit hack. Habit hack number 4, track your efforts. Where you might not see the changes right away, you can encourage yourself by keeping track of the steps you take to make those changes. If you are listening to this podcast, most likely you're in our program, and we have created a habit tracker for our entrepreneurs. This habit tracker is linked in the show notes below, so you can also download it free from our website.
What a great idea to have a habit hacker. In fact, I'm going to download it. Can I use it, Rinnie?
Absolutely.
So we got the habit hacker tracker. We've shared 4 habit hacks. Here's habit hack number 5. And this is one of my favorites because I love doing this to me. Be kind to yourself and create a reward system. Remember when we first started talking about habits and we talked about habits being built on triggers and cues? And when action is taken, we are rewarded, whether that reward is healthy or unhealthy. And usually it's like short-term healthy, short-term reward, but long-term no good, right? So intentionally create a reward system for yourself that is a powerful motivator for you to continue doing things differently and doing things better.
Yeah, precisely. As you're tracking these habits, you set milestone markers in the tracker and you reward yourself after achieving those certain milestones. Maybe you are dieting and exercising every day, but you really love ice cream. So mark it on the calendar to get a milkshake after 2 weeks of healthy eating and exercising.
So you're telling me I can still eat ice cream, Rinnie?
You sure can, but you schedule it in as a reward. I know. Sorry, it sounds like work.
I can do that. As entrepreneurs, we're often so focused on the end goal, we forget the joy in the journey. And it is a journey where we can find wisdom, learning, and valuable experiences. So while you're working to create your vision and make your dream and build your most amazing business, celebrate your progress no matter how small. These rewards can bring a sense of fulfillment and motivation.
I definitely agree. However, when I'm thinking about this, tracking our habits and setting up reward systems, well, that kind of sounds like a lot of work in and of itself. It kind of feels like it might be too much for an individual, a busy entrepreneur, someone who's got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, I agree, Rennie, which leads us to habit hack number 6. Have you ever heard that saying, no man is an island?
Right, yeah.
I always wondered what that meant when I was younger, but I understand. It means that we're relational. We need people. So, habit hack number 6 is find yourself an accountability friend or buddy or partner, someone who has your best interests at heart, believes in your visions, and will hold you accountable to cultivating new habits. When you seek out individuals to help you do this, they will help you embody the changes that you want to make. So look for these folks. They're probably surrounding you. It may be a fellow entrepreneur. It may be someone that whose habit you're trying to develop. They do that in their daily life. So find these mentors or groups and align yourself and your goals with these accountability partners.
Yeah, Stephanie, I'm just going to interject that you and I have become pretty good accountability partners over the last 4 years of working Web Squared and developing out our nonprofit and building the systems we need to build and creating podcast scripts and deadlines and all that stuff. So thank you for being my accountability friend and partner and buddy.
Yeah, and thank you for being mine, Rennie, because we believe in each other's dream because we're building it together. But before we built it, we both had habits, right? And things that we're trying to fix. And yeah, we actually stand in for each other on that. And it makes it helpful.
And I believe these conversations have really encouraged me over the last few weeks to make some necessary changes in my routines and behavior to become more productive. And I thank you for that.
Yeah, this is awesome.
And so, entrepreneurs, please remember that Stephanie and I are here for you as well. We can be your accountability partners, and we will offer you the support and guidance you need to become a very successful entrepreneur.
I mean, after all, that's what we're here for. That's why we're doing what we're doing and building Web Squared, and then it's complimentary to y'all. You don't have to pay for it, so take advantage of it.
Yeah, sign up. Our calendar links are in the email that we send out with this. So please sign up today on the calendar. Stephanie, I think season 5 of our WEBB Remedy podcast is coming to a close. And listeners, Stephanie and I will be back together in the new year with new seasons tackling new mindset challenges. In the next couple of months, Stephanie will be taking a break. I will be interviewing some of our entrepreneurs about their journeys and businesses and gleaming mindset wisdom from them. If you want to be a guest on our podcast, let me know and we'll schedule some time.
Awesome.
But before we go, Stephanie, do you have any final words of wisdom on, our conversation on habits?
Funny you would ask, because I actually do. And this quote about habits is from the very famous, very Greek philosopher Aristotle, who once said, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit."
Thank you, Stephanie. And before we go, we're now going to turn to our moment of gratitude.
Rinnie, it's almost November, and November is, once we hit November, it's the holiday season and Christmas and it's over. But for Web Squared this year, November is super special because as we're thinking about this gratitude segment, I have been and you have been thinking about all the people that have helped us build Web. I would say this was a successful year. And even from the very beginning, there have been people in this community that have invested in us, supported us, guided us, been accountability partners to us, and paved the way for us to do this work. So on November 14th, we are having a Celebrating Champions of Inclusions award reception. And we're going to be lifting up and being very grateful for some folks that have been pivotal in the development of Web. So I'm grateful that we're having that. I'm grateful that we have people to be grateful for. If you're listening, please know you are welcome to come to this event. And what a way, Rinnie, to end the year on gratitude.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to just saying thank you to everybody. The people coming will be our entrepreneurs and our community partners, and hopefully the Chatham County government, and just some really incredible people who believe in our mission and vision. And I'm really looking forward to that moment of just looking at everyone and saying thank you for being part of this mission and this incredible journey we've been on the last few years.
Awesome. Well,
I think that I also, if you've been listening to this podcast, I thank you so much for tuning in and being part of our conversation. Please, until we talk to you next time, keep reaching for those skies and keep living your highest dream.
yes, and thank y'all for listening. And like we say in our podcast land, the evolution will always begin with dialogue. See you next year.
Thank you for listening to the WEBB Remedy podcast, a mindset shifting project of WEBB Squared. Wealth Through Entrepreneurship for Black and Brown Businesses is a North Carolina nonprofit located in Chatham County. We offer incubator accelerator business services to Black and BIPOC entrepreneurs. Our podcast hosts are Stephanie Terry and Rinnie Orr, the co-founders of WEBB Squared. We realize that building an ecosystem of support is critical to achieving our mission. Your donation to WEBB supports the podcast, WEBB's coaching services, and the promotion of the businesses and entrepreneurs we serve. To learn more about WEBB Squared, please visit our website at webbsquared.org.